morning, everyone. It is 8 o'clock on the start of your Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us.
Deep in conversation here.
Yeah, I was actually wondering what you were talking about.
I'm talking about there's a light on Delaware, okay? We've crossed this light before, but Amherst is here, and like Middlesex is down here,
Okay.
and Nottingham. It's right near Middlesex.
Oh.
It's the light.
It's park.
It's the light that it's between Nottingham and Amherst, and it only goes if you push it to cross the street.
Okay.
But if you push it to cross the street, right across you go.
Understood. Well, the reason why we're talking about this is because tonight, and good morning to everyone who's joining us. Glad you're all with us on a Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
We have a whole series kind of examining the process behind red lights in Buffalo, the South Towns and the North Towns, because especially if you travel through the city of Buffalo, it is a pain in the neck to travel because you're starting, stopping.
Right. You go to the next red light.
Right.
To the next red light.
It's so annoying. Instead of just having it all like turn green so that you can just fly through it.
Like at the same time, it only makes sense.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Because of course.
It's Buffalo. Of course it's Buffalo.
Of course we're from Buffalo.
So Michael Wooten is kicking off our coverage today, and he's going to be talking along with Taylor Epps and Michael Schwartz. Michael actually found some things that are working in the North Towns. Taylor found things that are not necessarily working in the South Towns. But Michael, what did you find in Buffalo?
Yeah, it's funny. I have covered the problem of out-of-sync traffic signals in Buffalo for more than a decade. So what I did was went back and looked at previous reporting, because every time we've gotten these assurances from the city, like, here's what we're doing, and this is going to get better, and this is going to get better. And I've focused a lot over the years on Delaware. You were just talking about it, because Delaware is one of those, in terms of city roads, it's what a lot of people take to get to and from work or to and from events that are downtown. And Delaware has been so bad for so long. And I'll just say off the top, giving the city some credit with where we are at right now, Delaware in some ways is better than it was before. There are a couple things that aren't quite online yet, and we'll get into that in the story tonight. But they've made vast improvements. They've invested a lot of money, and they have technology on Delaware finally to make it better in terms of what the city's doing. But one of the things that I learned this time, the city only controls Delaware from downtown to Forest, and then the state controls it north of Forest. And I tell you, every road in Western New York, you think, oh, this is a county road. Well, the county doesn't own any traffic signals, so the municipalities have them, or the state has them. It's so confusing trying to get to the bottom of it. There are so many sort of layers of bureaucracy, and I think that's been one of the reasons why we're so behind in terms of using the latest technology that's out there. But I will say for everybody watching, and there are so many intersections that drive us crazy day in and day out, generally, big picture, we are making improvements. I think that's sort of the theme of this story, but at the same time, man, there's a lot of ways to go.
Marguerite, good morning to you, says you hit one red light, you hit them all. Anita says, what bothers me most about lights is when you sit at a red light for a long time and there are no other cars inside or even awake for the day. So what do you do, Anita? Do you just go right through it?
Right.
Or do you just sit there?
Michael, let's talk really quick, too, about what you're reporting tonight. We're learning South Towns, North Towns. You did City of Buffalo. If people have noticed a light or a particular area, what would you like them to do? Could our cuppies reach out to you? Maybe they've seen a spot that they think we should take a closer look at after this report.
Yeah, so the cool thing about how we're doing this, so this is part one, and it's 3 parts, right? As you mentioned. So I'm looking at what's happening and sort of big picture, but in the city of Buffalo. What Taylor found was especially one big problem spot in the South Towns, one of those insane intersections that just doesn't make any sense, controlled by the DOT, the state. So she gets into that. And then Michael Schwartz is kind of covering the success story, and there are really a couple of them. Amherst and Tonawanda, in terms of their town-owned intersections and traffic signals, they have really led the way in Western New York in terms of using the latest technology. And the way this works is there's literally one camera that sits above the intersection, kind of on a pole, and it is able to diagram out the entire intersection and know the traffic coming in this direction, pedestrians, bicyclists, all this stuff. And using sort of AI, it can pinpoint how to time out those traffic signals, and it gives a ton of data to the town engineers, or in Buffalo to the city engineers. So that's how they make these roads flow better. And Amherst and Tonawanda are really doing a great job. In terms of what people should do, if you're in the city of Buffalo and you have a bad intersection, it might be the case that it's one of these old signals where someone literally has to go out to a machine that's attached to the, to the stoplights and retime it manually. Eventually, they want to get rid of that. But I mean, Buffalo has more than 660 intersections with traffic signals. So it's going to take a long time to get all of them upgraded to the latest technology. But if you have a bad signal, you should call or text 311 or go online and go through the process and let the city know. They say they'll take a look at them. I do get the impression in talking with Nolan Skipper, who is a deputy commissioner and he's in charge of engineering for the city, and also the new DPW commissioner. They care about this issue. So I think that is an important first step.
Ellie says people don't listen to lights anyway. It's crazy how many
Just
yellow
run.
people run. I mean,
reds, and people run reds. I was out I kept my phone, like every time I was in my car over the past month, I'm like recording my drives, right? I can't tell you how many people, and I'm not going to put this on TV, don't worry everybody, but I can't tell you how many people I just caught running red lights, because the thought is, if you don't run it and it's, red, you're going to sit there for a minute, 2 minutes, who knows? So people just run them regularly.
Well, be careful as you're driving.
I'm not encouraging that, right?
Michael, can you also say the name of your special? Because I think it's just the cutest little name.
Left on Red. And it's funny. So we've been, what happened? So we were kind of like having one of these brainstorming sessions. I think both of you were there. And I brought up this story because, again, having covered this for so long, it animates people so much. And in the past, like some of the stories that I've done about this, they've actually led to change, which is sort of the goal of journalism, right? You want to make the community better. So when I pitched this, our news director, Aaron, was like, oh, let's do this big, right? Let's put a few people on it. And again, this is just the beginning. We're going to do a bunch of follow-up stories and try to really tackle this. But we're in one of these meetings and we're like, all right, we got to call this series something. And it was our assignment editor, Adam, who said Left on Red. I think you guys were in the room, right, when we did that. And we're like, yes, that's good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Michael, I mean, at the end of the day, how much does this technology actually cost? Because I feel like if it's an expense people would support, then it's kind of priceless, right?
Yeah, the cost aspect is really interesting. So to do the technology that's most in use in Western New York is called MyoVision. The company's actually headquartered in Toronto. I hope I'm going up there in about a month for one of the follow-up stories to look at even what's coming down the line. But to do an intersection with MyoVision is about 20 grand. But the point is, like,
20 grand.
about $20,000
for one?
For one intersection. But think about it. So what they used to do is they would bury these pucks in the asphalt, and they're the one that basically that puck talked to the traffic signal. So that's like how they controlled traffic flows. And the puck technology is now almost as expensive as this MyoVision. And so they're saying, you know what, let's spend a little bit more. And here's the good thing. Almost all of these big projects now are federally funded. And so what they're doing, for instance, Main Street, and I don't know if a lot of people know this yet. I don't get into this a ton in the story, but Main Street in Buffalo, which is just a disaster. It's about to get this full like redo, right? It's going to go from 2 lanes in each direction down to 1 lane in each direction with a turn lane, like they did in Delaware. And the fear there is it's going to make it take longer to get through. So they're putting these MyoVision cameras at every single intersection on Main Street. Yeah, it's 20 grand at every intersection, but it would cost almost that much to just do sort of the old school technology. So they're saying, let's do it. Federal government pays for it. And then here's I'll leave you with this. I talked to an expert at the University of Michigan who studied this stuff across the country, one of the top experts in the world on this. And he said there are multiple studies that show for every dollar you spend on properly timing out traffic signals, the economy gets about $40 in return. So he says it is way worth the investment because we're not sitting idling and wasting gas. We're not wasting our time, road rage, costs associated. I mean, it's just having poorly timed traffic signals costs us a lot of money.
I can tell you, we need a traffic light at the corner of Hampshire and I think it's Bust-Eye or Niagara. That's where I got into the crash last year. And it's right by the corner of that gas station. So it's really hard to see who's coming. And then the same thing on Niagara, right by that apartment building by the Peace Bridge. You know what I'm talking about on Bus-Dye? So it's hard to like look around and see traffic coming in both directions. But if, like in my case, T-bone.
Smash. You should talk to Michael Wooten. Maybe he can make some change.
Michael, get me a traffic light.
I'm gonna go look at that. So you bring up an interesting point there, because I asked the DPW commissioner. I was like, look, we have more than 660 intersections with traffic signals. Most of those date back. I mean, the signals have been changed, but those decisions date back to when Buffalo's population was maybe double what it is now in the city. So I was like, aren't there a lot of these traffic signals that don't need to be there? That just need to be stops? And he's like, sure. He's like, but there are also some places where we don't have traffic lights where we probably need them. So, you know, I don't know that we're at the point right now where they're going to go in and fix all those things. I think there's such a backlog. This issue has been ignored for so long that it's going to take a while to get it right. And we just talked about Buffalo. I mean, again, Northtown, Southtowns, Niagara County, Chautauqua County. This is a problem everywhere. It's so
okay.
It's one of the most annoying things about life.
And tonight at 6 is when people can catch your special.
Yeah, that's right. So it's my story, Taylor's story, Michael's story, doing it big. And I hope, you know, it leads to getting all these ideas from our viewers on where we need to go next and highlight this. And hopefully, again, like make it better, right? That's what it's all about.
Love. Last question for Michael Wooten. How many plants do you have?
A lot.
Look at all those plants.
I know. This must be new to you.
No, I know. I mean, I know he had a bunch of them, but they really look good. Is that a spider plant right behind you there?
Oh, yeah. This is a reverse, like back there. Oh, and there's one right behind me, too.
Right.
I was off Friday and yesterday, and I was out of town, and I have not watered the plants in a while, so they're pretty angry with me at the moment, so I got to get
all right. Well, we'll let you get to that.
Take us on a tour of your apartment.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have beautiful lighting, too.
I know.
You
We
know
really
The
enjoy
natural
it.
lighting looks great on your face.
Thank you. Yeah, the sun is literally right there. I brought the good weather back with me. I was in Miami, and it was like sunny and 75 the whole time, and then I get back here, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice out. It's great.
Michael, you think we're joking, but we really do want a tour.
Oh, look, I got right here.
Oh.
Wait, I'm bad at this. Yeah, got all these ones back
No,
here.
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I'll do a better tour another time. I actually have
Should I be
laundry
concerned about
on
the
the
one
sofa
plant that looks
back there.
brown?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure there are a couple that it's time to swap them out. This was
Anita
I don't know
says-
if I told you guys this. This was my COVID thing. I went crazy with plants. Sorry, what'd you say? Change the battery in your clock. I will. right there. I love this.
Gotta love it. Michael Schwartz for us.
Michael Wooten.
Michael Wooten. Michael Wooten for us.
Good Michael. The newsroom. Good Michael, bad Michael.
Oh my
There are too
God.
many people with the same name in this place.
Only
one head though.
Oh, thank goodness. All right.
Bye, guys.
Michael,
Bye,
we'll see you in a
Michael.
little bit. As in, we will actually see him in a little bit
Yeah.
when he comes into work.
Okay, with the cuppies, let's talk about this. Do you keep a secret from your significant other? Is there one thing in particular that you are holding on to that you are not telling your partner?
Or maybe we could ask this if we actually want to get some responses, because I feel like people are going to be like, yeah, I didn't tell my husband this. What about, like, were you ever in a relationship where you had a secret or you found out a secret that someone was keeping from you? And so you were
Ooh.
like, no.
Tell us. Have you?
No. I feel that I'm not really, like, if you're in a relationship, I don't think that you should be keeping very many secrets. Like, there are good secrets.
Ooh, Aunt Sue, tell us everything, Aunt Sue.
Good morning and yes.
I feel like if you are in a relationship and you can't tell somebody something, then you're probably in the wrong relationship.
Or if you're in a relationship where you feel like the person is lying to you, like, I will never forget. My mom might not remember giving me this piece of advice, but I will never forget her telling me, you cannot be in a relationship with someone who lies to you.
Okay, so
Like, end of story.
Diane says, I can tell Steve anything, her husband, and he'd say, I didn't, so no.
Okay, that's fair. Sometimes they just don't listen.
In one ear, out the other. And so you've got to. You already started. You can't hold it a secret anymore. Jeff Baker says, pleading the fifth.
Lauren says, don't make my aunt tell her secret.
Linda says, I have never, unless it's a surprise.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's good secrets, right?
I had a really hard time keeping, so I planned a 40th surprise party for Russ, and I had a really, really hard time
You can't
keeping
keep a
it.
secret to save your
He had no idea what was going on.
Uh-huh. Thank
And
God.
that's not true though either.
It's close to true.
It's not true at all.
Why were you? Who was the last person to find out about Paul's secret party for me?
Me. And it's probably for the best.
The problem is not that Ed purposely
Tell
tells
secrets.
He just gets so excited
Right.
that, like, if you could be like, "What are you doing Saturday night?" And you'd be like, "Saturday night, I have this big." I don't know. And, like, it would be so bad that you'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I told you my story about Russ's 40th party, right?
Yes.
Kyle Poso was there. I see him. We've got a table full of people sitting behind the barrier waiting for us to get there.
Yes.
And I'm like, Kyle! Oh my God.
Are we here to have dinner with the captain of the Sabres? This is very fancy.
Jeanette says, secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone. So what I was going to say is secrets are no fun. Secrets are no fun unless you tell everyone. I want to know everything.
So the top secrets that people were keeping were like money secrets. That's a bad one.
Yeah.
I think it was like a quarter of people keep money secrets.
Period. A quarter of the people
Keep secrets.
Correct.
Right. Okay. And then a lot of them kept money secrets.
Right. So, here are some things that you might be keeping a secret. Number one, money, finances, right? If you've got a big debt and you haven't shared that, I don't know. Two,
How much something costs. Like I could see like somebody being like, "Hey, I got the estimate for the pool. It's fine." And then it's not. I don't know. I'm just thinking about something that you might lie about the cost on.
Okay, well, what about past relationships? Does your partner know everything about your past relationships?
Here's my question. Why would a person ever need to know that?
Julie McCoy, we knew you would come in strong for us. We knew it, Julie McCoy.
I tell you, I do this for this video. Like, why would you want to like start your new relationship just telling them about all your old relationships?
Well, I don't know that it's a starting point. I feel like it is a conversation point at some juncture in your relationship.
I feel like why? As long as you're happy. I mean, like, yeah, like I don't know. Like to me, your past is in your past. If you learn from it and you like grew from it and everything is good now and there's no lying, there's no nothing now, leave the past in the past. Everybody makes mistakes. If you don't, what are you learning from?
Yeah, that's a great
If
point.
you don't, you're not with the person now, right?
So
you're like, mistake, or didn't work for me or whatever. But like,
dodged a
you
bullet.
don't need to detail that for everybody. Like, I feel like that just gets messy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel
Ed
like
loves to hear the drama,
do.
though.
I
He
love
loves
it.
to hear all that.
like
kind
tell
of
me
stuff.
every.
I have a friend who she's very happy in her marriage, like one of the best marriages ever. And like, she and her husband, like, they just like when they met, they had both dated other people. And they never really talked about the other stuff. And they just like have this great relationship,
That's
and
good. Who
they're
is
not
it?
impacted. No, stop it. And this is why people keep secrets. Because they're a good secret. I'm a good secret keeper. No, but seriously, like, I don't know.
Jeanette, we just had a conversation yesterday. It wasn't a bad conversation at all. We were more joking about bad ex-partners and laughing.
That is fair.
Well-
Like, there are little jokes that you can make. Like, Paul likes to tease me. Like, a lot of people I dated in the past, like, were very, like, fancy dressers. And Paul, like, is really more of a casual dresser. And he used to talk about, like, going to get, what is it called? An ascot and wearing it around the house like this. Like, that's a funny joke.
That is funny.
It's cute.
But Paul is definitely the person who like mellows you out. Paul is the perfect yin to your yang.
I don't know if there's anything to mellow me out.
No,
I'm
nothing like a good Xanax.
What do you and Russ? Do you tease each other about stuff like that? Okay, you know what? Let's
So
not.
yeah, so here's the thing. So Russell and I mean, like, I have told Russell everything. I mean, Russ knows where every bone is buried. And that sounds really bad. But you know exactly what I mean. Where the skeletons are.
Where the skeletons are in the closet. Yes. Mhm.
And so, like I went on a cruise before we started dating. I told him everything about that cruise because it was a ton of fun.
Oh my
And you know
gosh.
exactly what I'm talking
You
about.
told him everything about
Of
that
course
cruise?
I did.
I'm sorry, Russ.
And then, like, you're in a relationship. You're all over the place. I mean, like, I don't know. Why would you keep it a secret?
Why would you tell him?
I don't know. I don't want him to feel bad. Like, I don't want it to just come out either and be like, well, you never told me that. You know what I mean?
I know. Do you know what I would say? Why would I ever tell you that?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm an open
funny.
book.
Okay, let's see here. Wait, somebody said, Courtney says, we've shared everything with each other. Neither one of us gets jealous. We joke about our exes more than anything. Lauren says, good point. Brian and her know certain things, but they don't feel the need to go into every detail because that could hurt more.
Right. And Lauren, okay, see, thank you, Lauren.
Where?
She says,
That side of it, Ed.
yeah. I just don't want
Peter
it to.
just says Ed is literally an open book.
I mean, like, why keep it a secret? Is my thought. Truth is the best, is what Daniel says.
Ooh, Aaron Phillips coming in with this one. I feel like talking about exes can tell a lot about the other person. If a guy calls his ex crazy, it's usually a red flag for the guy.
Well, unless her name was Katie.
Do you hear John back there? He just goes, unless she was crazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Red flag, John.
Julie says, throw the skeletons back in that closet and hammer that door shut. See, but like, what happens if you see your ex out in public?
Say hi and politely move on.
Exactly.
Then you don't detail their whole
Well,
like relationship.
no, I mean, I would never, but like, you know.
It's like you have to be a normal human, and like,
what if you have somebody who you really don't want to see out in public, and you're, oh God.
you give a very casual hello and you keep it moving.
Interesting.
Like,
Okay.
be polite, but keep it moving.
Do you acknowledge that other person? Like, you went on a date with that person, say for instance, and it didn't work out, or you went on several dates with that person and it didn't work out.
No, I don't think you have to acknowledge them. Like, you went on a bad date with somebody, you don't have to be like, oh my God, hi, good to see you.
I kind of like Lauren. You run.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like if you went on like a bad date or like you hung out like once or twice and it just didn't work, then you just ignore it. Like, what? I don't know. Is that bad? I'd just be like,
You're a
we
better
don't need to-
person. I'm like, I pretend that you're not there.
well, that's I think what I would do if it was like a bad date. But if you dated someone for like a couple years and you saw it, you'd be like, hey, how's it going?
Or
Keep it moving.
what if you dated somebody for like a couple of months?
I don't know. I mean, you could still say
Ugh,
hi and just
yikes.
keep it moving.
James says, I will always answer truthfully. However, if someone wants to keep something to themselves, I respect their privacy.
That's true.
My mom, good morning, Jan, says, Dad and I told everything, and he jokes about him all the time. Doug is who my dad jokes with. Doug. Kelly says, he's way better with me than he was his ex's, and I know because his ex was my best friend. Oh, no. Oh,
John Marrero just made the funniest sound in the back of the room. He
oh,
goes, oh.
Kelly, spill that tea. How did that happen? Holy Moses. You just opened Pandora's box.
This is kind of cute. Linda says, my ex-boyfriend plays in a group. I invited the group to play for the town concerts. He came and gave me a hug, and my husband knows him.
Yeah, okay.
There are also some people that you dated that, like, if you went through the whole dating process, they're nice people. They just weren't the right people for you. So, like, you see them, you say, hey, what's going on? You could, like, talk to them. You're like, hey, hope you're doing well.
What if you know you broke that person's heart?
I think you just do
Or
the
you really hurt that person?
I think you do the same thing. You're polite, and then you just kind of keep it moving.
Hey, how
keep
are
it
ya?
moving has been my phrase today.
Oof.
Keep it moving. I'm just like running by everybody.
Jeanette, I have a bad situation like this that happens all the time because we run into this person at a certain establishment and he pretends always that he doesn't know me, but my fiance knows it all and actually likes him. Oh, God. Where?
And when are you going next? So I can observe
Just give me a
in
fly on the
person.
wall.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That is.
Honestly, if I knew I was going to run into somebody who I didn't want to see, I would probably avoid that place.
Yeah,
Unless I
100%.
like really liked that place. I'd be like, let them have it. They
Yeah.
got it in the breakup.
I agree.
They got that restaurant in the breakup or whatever.
It's like, I don't know. Your ex goes to that certain bar.
yeah.
You're not
so
going to
you
go
know
to that
what?
bar.
Yeah.
I know.
Get your own new bar.
Julie says, I'm friends with my exes except my ex-husband. Ooh, okay. Lauren says, I'm civil with my serious exes. Both live out of state, so not an issue, but I would be friendly with them if I saw them. Same with Brian's ex. I would
Yeah.
say hi and move on. No need to be rude, right? I mean, I feel like Russ is the same way with mine.
I feel like I don't even know. I mean, Paul lived in Connecticut when he was dating other people, so I don't even know these people.
Daniel says, I'm still friends with my ex. We still have Christmas together, so
That's cute.
with our kids for the holidays. I love
No,
that.
that is something else too. Like if you're able to maintain like that relationship, like maybe you had kids and then you got divorced, and like more power to you for being able to, have like not only a civil, but maybe like a friendship relationship. And that's kind of nice.
What about this? My ex
Lives
lives across the street from me.
Ooh.
Ooh, holy Hannah. Second Cup could be a nighttime drama series. I know. Love that. Gotta love you, Cuppies. Thank you so much for chiming in here. Jeff Baker, though, says, not many choices of bars around here, so it's inevitable running into your ex.
Yeah, he's up in Ransomville.
Texas from my exes when they want a second chance.
Did you see his comment about the streetlights? He was like, we have one.
That's so funny. Hey, we got to get the show on the road. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.